All right. Guess we're not going to have to wait till the regular season for one of these post games. As I realize I didn't turn either of my lights on. I'm in about as good a form as the Knicks were tonight. The Knicks do not successfully end their preseason. Andrew, we're both off. They lose their final preseason tune-up. If this was a tune-up, I think you're probably taking your mechanics to court. 131 to 106 to a Washington Wizards team that is pegged to be the worst team in the league, and they were missing theoretically their second best player tonight. So there will be reactions to this game. I think on one end there will be people who will want to write it off as nothing to see here. The team didn't come out with any level of intensity that they will surely have in the regular season, and nothing that we saw tonight should be even like given a second thought. They'll be fine once the games start. There will be other people who will absolutely lose their shit. The sky will be falling. The season will be over. Fire everybody, trade everybody, so on and so forth. Before they've played a real game, and all different gradients in between. Believe me, there is a part of me that wants to go a little lose my shit, but I'm not going to. I'm going to resist the temptation. I am skewing closer on the side of let's chalk this one up to what it was, which was a team that I think thinks they're pretty good. Hopefully they're right about that. Coming out, and again, whether they were given 80%, 85%, 90%, not giving 100%. And in a league that I've been preaching this, I feel like for months now, where there is more parity right now than ever, that is, you're not going to win any basketball games if you do that. I'm okay writing it off. Let me just say that up front. Okay, writing this one off. However, the New York Knicks just gave up. The New York Knicks, who are a team that fancies themselves a contender to win playoff games and indeed playoff rounds this season, just gave up 131 points to this Wizards team. Again, missing Kyle Kuzma. Yes, Mike Muscala does what Mike Muscala always does against us and hits every three. Jordan Poole went nuclear, in part because the Knicks didn't really put a body on him for much of this game, but I digress. So that contributed to it. But 131 points to a team that is supposed to be the worst team in the league on your home floor in what, your coach kind of intimated before the game was a dress rehearsal for the regular season. It's not what you want. And it's not what you want in particular because this is a team that finished 19th in defense last year. This is a team that has not looked particularly good or cohesive in any way on defense throughout the preseason, whatever you want to make of a preseason that has not really featured, their main lineups for very long stretches of time. But even so, there is, even as things were rolling last year, even as honestly as they were throttling Cleveland in the playoffs, this team developed an identity for toughness, for physicality, for aggressiveness, for relentlessness. I'm not sure this team last year ever developed a defensive identity, or what I would consider a defensive identity. Then again, what is a defensive identity in the NBA in the year of our Lord 2023? I don't really know, with offenses being what they are. But you kind of know it when you see it. The Knicks don't have one right now. And I don't think that's a switch you could flip on and off. And again, we keep talking about the same kind of stuff. They have three guys that are going to be on the floor for a lot of minutes. In Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett, and to varying degrees and for varying reasons, defense is not the strength of any of those players. And they've tried to surround those players and insulate those players with stronger defenders. But I just, I don't know how much you could do that. And if you're asking me, are you worried about the defense this year? The answer is absolutely yes. I've said, I think on the pod already. If not, I will say it in an episode that we already recorded and is coming out this Monday. I think if they finish in the top half of the league in defense, I think that would be fantastic. I'd be very happy with that. And that feeling only got stronger seeing what we saw tonight. Again, I may look silly. Maybe they come out and they do the thing that I just said that I didn't think they could do and flip a switch come the regular season and, revert back to being a top 10 defense, which they were for the first 2 years of the Thibodeau era. I have my doubts. So that is concerning. Of all the things that we saw tonight, that's the one thing that I would deem as concerning. And part of the reason why I think they were poor defensively tonight, and if there is one person who had a great night, not a good night tonight, not a great night tonight, spectacular night tonight, and that is Immanuel Quickley's agent. I'm obviously not the first person to give this particular stat, but for anybody who needs a reminder, last season when Immanuel Quickley was not on the floor for the Knicks, they had a defense that would have ranked dead last in the league. When Immanuel Quickley was on the floor for the Knicks, they had a defense that would have ranked first in the league. Those are real numbers. Now, do I think his defensive impact is that pronounced? No, I don't. It was aided by the fact that he often was playing with bench units, and the starters for this team were not, particularly good defensive players or defensive collective unit. So that helped that on-off for sure. The fact remains, he's vitally important for this team in a number of ways, primarily on the defensive end, but also offensively. And, we got very spoiled last year because Jalen Brunson didn't have many off nights. But on a night when Jalen Brunson either isn't there or doesn't have it, which, again, didn't happen that often, but it happens sometimes, you never felt like, oh, they can't win the game because Immanuel Quickley played 81 games last year. And you felt like, okay, if Brunson doesn't have it tonight, if Brunson's not there tonight, Quick has it. Well, Quick couldn't have it tonight because Quick wasn't in because he's nicked up, and how hurt he is, whether he's hurt at all, we'll see about that. Again, I know Thibodeau said before the game it has nothing to do with the fact that the contract extension still hasn't been agreed to, but this team really, again, I'll say it, they really do need Quick. He is the glue that holds everything together in pretty much every lineup he's in. He is a fail-safe at the point guard position. He, how many nights were there last year where something was off, wasn't jiving, Quick comes in the game, and all of a sudden, okay, let's get back on track. Here we go. He has that ability, and it's unique. There's not really a whole lot of players in the league quite like him at that position, but he does it very well. And, I don't think it's a complete coincidence that they look like kind of a mess tonight, and Quickley was not in. So I think his agent had a nice night tonight. So, and I mentioned Brunson. Brunson was the guy. Brunson, his final stat line was pretty abysmal. He was 3 for 12, finished with like 7 points, I think. 12 points, excuse me. 3 for 12, 1 of 5 from deep, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. But he was just very out of sorts. Again, only played 25 minutes, got pulled midway through the third quarter, didn't come back in the game. There was a play shortly before he came out where he had an open runway to the basket and penetrated and had the opportunity to pull up for like a wide open 8-footer that he sinks with his eyes closed. And he instead tried to like thread a needle to Hartenstein through 2 guys. Watching however many games we watched with Jalen Brunson last year, 68 games with Jalen Brunson last year, never saw him make a play like that. So something was off with Brunson tonight. And you see how important he is to New York's offense. Because when he's off, it just doesn't flow the same. Julius Randle could be having a good game. RJ Barrett could be having a good game. He didn't start out having a good game, but he got going eventually. It's when Brunson's not there or not going strong, everything changes. I know we've talked, there's always conversation about who's actually the Knicks' most important player. Is it secretly Mitchell Robinson? Is it actually, Quentin Grimes? Is it, whoever you want to say? It's Jalen Brunson, and then there was a massive gap, and then there's everyone else. Although, again, I'll go back to what I said about Quickley. Quickley being there is kind of a fail-safe for if Brunson isn't there or is not having a good game, but Quickley doesn't do what Brunson does, and you saw the impact of that tonight. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this game that I haven't already said. It was bad. I mean, it's bad. This team, I'll be very curious. I wish I could be a fly on the wall for their meeting or practice or whatever they're going to have tomorrow with Tom Thibodeau. I would imagine. I mean, we saw some video towards the end of the game of Julius Randle laughing with Immanuel Quickley at the end of the bench. So, obviously the players are not taking this one very seriously. And you know what? Probably for the best. If the Knicks were like losing sleep tonight because of this, I would be a little bit worried. I do wonder if Tom Thibodeau is going to take this. And what the next week is going to look like. And yeah, because like, look, again, not to beat a dead horse, this was supposed to be the worst team in the league. And their schedule to start out over the first 10 games, especially, is they're not playing the worst team in the league or the second worst or the third worst. They're playing a lot of the very best teams in the league. So what they put out there, obviously, tonight is not going to cut it. Can they pull it together? I'm sure they can. I guess a couple other things that people have kind of discussed a little bit, and you could see the areas of concern actualizing tonight. For one, Quentin Grimes one night after he hit 7 of 13 from 3, finished this game with 4 shots, all 4 from 3, made 1, played 17 minutes. Obviously, he was in foul trouble, which is, by the way, that's another issue. Quentin Grimes is going to be guarding the best opposing perimeter player every night. Quentin Grimes needs to stay out of foul trouble because, with all due respect to Dante DiVincenzo, he does not do what Quentin Grimes does. Especially not on the defensive end. He's a good defender. He's an opportunistic defender. He is not a Grimes-level defender. Grimes is vitally important for this team. Not as much as Brunson or Quickley, but he is vitally important to this team. And they need him to be able to defend the good perimeter players. He cannot get into foul trouble like that. That's something he's going to have to monitor. That's on the downside. Something which is not his fault is how he could play for extended stretches and not see the ball. Benji Ritholtz clipped something for the Knicks Film School Twitter account tonight, showing that there was a possession where Julius Randle had the ball and clearly should have passed to Grimes, and he didn't do it. There was another, and right after that play, there was another play where you could argue the same thing. Should have been a pass to Grimes, didn't get the pass. Grimes, like, there should never be a game this season where Grimes sees 4 shots, even if you play 17 minutes. Should not be a game where Grimes sees 4 shots. He needs to be someone that they look for. I know there's been a lot of conversation the last few days, like, oh, the Knicks, they're burying, Grimes. He could be so much more. Grimes is great, and I said this after the game. Grimes is great at being what he is, but he does need more shots. He needs more opportunities to do damage in the way that he's very comfortable at doing damage right now, and he's good at doing damage that way. But he needs to get into a rhythm. And again, part of that's on the team, part of that's on him to stay on the court. So that's something. Had some nice moments from Randle, obviously. Very, very fun dunk in the first half. I think he hit 4 threes tonight. But then there's also there's the yin and the yang of Julius Randle. Brunson didn't have it. Randle kind of commandeered a little bit more of the offense, and we know how that goes sometimes. So again, goes back to the first point. Team needs Brunson. So we had that. And then even it was mostly the defense, but even on offense, just kind of a little lack of polish, a little lack of poise. Guys missing shots they normally make around the basket. Everyone was guilty of it. It was just, I thought this team looked a lot better and more cohesive and crisp in the first 5 or 6 minutes, whatever they played against Boston C Squad a week and a half ago, than they did tonight against Washington. And maybe I don't know. It's not the order you want to go. You want to go into the regular games on a higher note. You don't want to be going backwards. So that's what I'm going to say. Again, try to keep it measured. Not go crazy. This team last year earned our trust that they will be fine when the games count. Doesn't mean they don't have things to work on. Doesn't mean there aren't areas of concern, very legitimate areas of concern. And it doesn't mean we can't draw conclusions, some conclusions, or at least consider evidence from the preseason. All that being said, they earned our trust, or they should have earned our trust. So, not going crazy. Show up on Wednesday night against Boston and play how you know how to play. And then we'll forget this little mishap ever happened. That's it. That's all I got. I'm curious what people are going to want to talk about tonight. So on that note, we got Andrew J. Claudio, GMAC on the 1s and 2s. And off we go. We start off with Danny Gardner. I know he could score, but God, do I hate Poole's game. Man, I don't know what the odds are right now. I saw actually some odds were released earlier today for who was going to lead the league in scoring. I didn't see Poole's name. Obviously. I mean, he's probably you'd probably have to bet the field to get Poole, right? I don't think he actually has a betting line. Man, I don't know. I'm old enough to remember. Didn't Jerry Stackhouse lead the league in scoring one year for like a not very good Pistons team? Andrew, maybe you could fact check that for me. Maybe he didn't lead the league in scoring, but he was like second or something. That dude's gonna get points this year, and I think he has a role in the NBA. He really does. I mean, when you could score like that and you could shoot like that, I mean, that the way the league is right now, where you don't need to be able to defend, might mean you're a sixth man for a good team, which he was on a team that won the championship. I know he wasn't very good in those playoffs, but you could still play roles. Reason why an organization that's thought of as a very good organization decided to pay him $30 million a year. It's a good player. But I understand you may not like his game. Thanks, Danny.
So Jerry Stackhouse.
Yes.
He led the league in points scored in 2000-2001.
And what did he finish in scoring per game? Was he at least top 5?
No, second. You're right.
He was second. Okay, there you go.
There you go. For a really bad Pistons team. You're right.
That Pistons team won 32 games, something like that.
Now you're making me go to different pages.
I'm sorry. I'm making you work.
Unbelievable. I was already doing research too.
I know. I don't know if it was that offseason or the following offseason, but Stackhouse looked good enough as a Piston to get Michael Jordan to trade for him.
32-50.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. I was in the middle of researching the next head coach I want too. I've narrowed it down to Atkinson or Van Gundy coming back because I want this whole coaching staff just gone after this performance.
I
want nothing to do with this anymore. That was embarrassing. We should fire and trade everybody. By the way,
even the players who aren't trade eligible until December 15th.
Find a loophole.
Brock. That's why we hired Brock Aller, right?
Exactly. Jalen Brunson. All the hype around him. Give me Halliburton any day of the week. Goodness.
Wow, Halliburton's pretty good. Andrew P. I can't watch this Randall guy for another 82 games. All right, we're off and running.
Hell yeah, Andrew P. That's what I'm talking about.
Your burner?
No, you're gonna give away the secret. Like magician doesn't always reveal his tricks, right? Andrew P, my brother in name. Hell yeah. Fire everybody, trade everybody in the preseason.
That's what we do. Thanks, Andrew. Busy. Famous last words. I know it's preseason, but. I know it's preseason, but their defense was concerning. It is. I completely agree. A lot of bad passes, too. I did like RJ and Julius's performance. Yeah, look, RJ had some really nice moments. I thought Julius obviously hit some nice shots. I don't know if I'd say Julius played well. But that's Julius. Only Julius Randle can inspire, can make 2 All-NBA teams and still inspire a comment like the one that we had just before yours, Busy. He is one of one. Yeah, but again, like never overreact preseason. You know, I get famous last words. Only preseason, but it's not just preseason. This is a bad defensive team last year. So I'm not. I don't think anybody who's concerned about the defense heading into the regular season, I don't think you are basing that on the preseason. You're basing that on a much larger body of evidence. And this team, and if you're, I mean, really, this is not a conversation I want to have right now, but if you look at the direction that they have been going as a franchise since this regime took over, it's pretty clear which direction they were trending. They've been trending. First year, 4th in defense, 23rd in offense. Second year, maybe they were just as bad in offense, but they certainly tried to be better in offense when they went out and signed Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. 10th in defense, and then last year, obviously, 3rd in offense and 19th in defense. So, you know, these are the compromises that you have to make when you don't have superstar talent. These are the compromises you have to make when you build your team around Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, two guys who are not known for their defense. So I just, you know, but again, that's also why the job that they've done building the roster does deserve a lot of credit. Because to go out and draft an Immanuel Quickley and draft a Quentin Grimes and draft a Deuce McBride and hold on to and protect a Mitchell Robinson like he is prime Wilt Chamberlain, you know, or Bill Russell, I guess would be the better analogy here. To do all those things shows that, you know, you need to fill in the gaps, right? You cannot obviously survive on offense, an offense first team where you don't have anything close to a transcendent offensive player. So like they've done what they had to do. But it is, you know, for as much as we talk about them being a sturdy team, a steady team, a consistent team, a competent team, all the words I used when I talked to Alan Hahn the other night, there is still a thing here where this can go bad, right? And I want to be very clear. I say that about the Knicks like I would say that about 20-something other NBA teams. Because in my mind, there are probably 4 teams that are basically like they're good no matter what. Like, you know, as with moderately good health, they're going to be safe bets for home court advantage. And it's Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, and Phoenix. And some of those teams have health issues. Every other team, quite literally, maybe you throw the Cavs in there too, but quite literally every other team. Name another team and tell me, oh, there's no way that they would fall to the play-in. Every other team in the league, you could tell me, they have potential to fall to the play-in. And the Knicks are one of those teams. And it just goes to show they need to defend well enough, because there will be nights where their offense, you know, Brunson's off or Randall's off or Quickley's out or whatever it is. All right. Thanks, Busy. All right. Alex, what's going on, Alex? I don't want to overreact, but this team will be lucky to win 37 games. Hashtag fire Thibs. Hashtag free Obi. Hashtag Roby Hive. Poor Isaiah Roby. You know, I remember at the end of the last season, there was a lot of talk about him maybe, you know, being the backup 4. Well, that didn't happen. It's interesting. This is now his 3rd franchise that has said thanks, but no thanks. Still a young player. He's been around 3 years. You know, I don't know. Is there a career there for that guy? We'll see. All right. Thanks, Alex. I think we got a couple more. Another one from Alex. IQ and his agent must be licking their chops. You could say that again. And then one more from Alex. John, lack of size worries me. Not just rebounding, but getting into passing lanes or pushing guys off their spots and rim protection. Call me crazy. I'm not too worried about the rebounding. I can't be that worried about rebounding when this team again has made it a point in their roster design to get bigs that can rebound well. Mitchell Robinson is a good rebounder. Good. Let's talk about defensive rebounding, to be clear. We know they're a great offensive rebounding team. Mitchell Robinson, good defensive rebounder. Julius Randle, good defensive rebounder. Sometimes doesn't box out, but overall, good defensive rebounder. Josh Hart, good to great defensive rebounder for his position. Quickley, good to great defensive rebounder for his position. DiVincenzo, good. Brunson, even good. Like they've thought that part through. I'm not worried about that. The thing that concerns me on defense for them is not getting pushed off their spots. Like for a team that plays the style of defense that they do, the number of guys that they have who close out as poorly and as consistently poorly as they do, is staggering. Because that's, not breaking any news here. That's what starts the merry-go-round. And, that doesn't usually end well. So, like, they just have to bear that. But that's what I mean when I'm like, it's preseason. Like, guys bearing down and, like, staying sturdy on a closeout is fucking hard. And it's why there are people who will continue to be like, Deuce McBride should get rotation minutes on this team because he is one of the few people that is consistently knows how to close out on a shooter. And it's not just him. Grimes is usually pretty good at it too, but Grimes could, as we saw, could get into foul trouble. Josh Hart's pretty good at it, obviously. Other than that, a lot of flybys tonight. Immanuel Quickley, how did I forget Quickley? But that's another one of those things. It's like, how many times will a defensive possession be rescued because Quickley will stay sturdy on a closeout? After giving nail help or whatever, being whatever other position he's supposed to be. And it's like those little things that don't come near a box score, but that Quickley does, that just rescue possessions. And then they have other guys that are not good at that. That's what worries me. That's the biggest thing. Again, given the style of defense that they play. Thanks, Alex. All right. Here we go. Robert Cross. Is it fair and reasonable to say that Thibs will start the season with a 10-man rotation? If so, is McBride a part of it? Hashtag 53 wins. I mean, I'm going to go down on the ship. Go down with the ship? Go down with the ship. Well, I guess I'll go down on the ship and with the ship, because if I am with the ship, I am on the ship. Although I could be in the ship. I suppose for that matter, I could be under the ship. Whatever. I'm getting wet. No, I don't think so. I've been saying it all summer. I think he starts the season with 10 guys. And the reason I think he starts the season with 10 guys is, I think, despite what we saw tonight, which was a period of time where no starter was on the floor, even when he did have a 10-man rotation at times over the last few years, he is like the starter on the floor at all times. Usually it's been RJ when the other guys sit. And he didn't do that tonight. Obviously, RJ went to the bench with Randle at, I don't know what it was, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And so, and obviously I think Quickley is going to come in. I don't know if he's going to come in for Brunson or if he's going to come in and play with Brunson a bit before Brunson sits down, whatever it is. But, like, Immanuel Quickley is the backup point guard on this team. So if Deuce McBride is part of a 10-man rotation, so then you're basically telling me that there will be stretches of game where Deuce either plays with Brunson, I don't say that happened, or Deuce plays with IQ. And if it's Deuce with IQ, then the odds are that you got DiVincenzo and either Hart or RJ out there. Man, I mean, now that I say it out loud, I don't think that lineup is crazy. I just don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to stick with 9 men. Not saying Deuce isn't going to play. I got a prediction coming up on a crossover with Locked On Knicks that drops on Monday that I kind of wish I could have back because I recorded it before the last 2 preseason games, and I think Deuce has looked good. I think Deuce will be the 10th guy, but I don't think he's going to open the season in the rotation. It's my gut feeling. Thanks, Robert. Another one from Robert. First time, long time. It's your boy, John. Biggest question mark for you as we head into opening night against Boston. Hashtag 53 wins. The biggest question mark for me about this team this season? That's a great question. I mean, the obvious answer, the first thing that comes to my mind is, can this team defend well enough? Not worried about the minutes crunch. Not worried about 3-point shooting. I think they'll shoot it well enough for what they do. Not worried about Brunson. Brunson's going to be fine. Randall's going to be fine. I think RJ looks, he started off not great tonight, but I think he's going to be fine. Not worried about health. I'm worried about the defense. I'm worried about the defense because I think the offense, I don't think they're going to finish third in offense again. I think the offense is going to regress, and not regress. I just think they're going to, no, I could see them finishing with the same offensive rating or a similar offensive rating. And because the league just keeps getting better and better and better at offense specifically, I could see them ranking 8th or 9th or 10th in offense. And if you're the 10th best offense and you're the 21st best defense, right? If you slip a little bit more from last year, or even if you're the 18th or 17th best defense, well, then all of a sudden, you might have the 13th or 14th or 15th best net rating in the league. And if you have 13th or 14th best net rating in the league, guess what? You're probably a playing team. So that's what I'm worried about. Again, this team is not a surefire anything. They need to play good and well and hard and all of those things. So the biggest worry would be the defense, and specifically, can the starting unit or the component parts, the main component parts of the starting unit, can they ratchet it up on defense when they need to? They did last season. So maybe they can this season. At times they did it last season. Thanks, Robert. And I believe Robert has one more. Yes, it's your boy, John. I have an idea for your book. Robert has me writing books, apparently. Beyond the Paper Plate, Julius and Me, hashtag 53 wins. That's funny. Man, I'm totally fine with Julius at this point. I like him, RJ. Like, there were a couple times where, like, I think, what did RJ start from 3 tonight? I think RJ, he bricked a few threes, and they did not look particularly close. Finished 3 for 8 to his credit, but he was bricking some threes. And like in like a year or two ago, I probably would have gotten like, man, fucking hit open threes, man. You're in the corner, hit open threes. And I was just like, look, it's what he is. He's an inconsistent shooter. And I didn't get mad. I don't get mad about Randall. These guys are who they are. Let's appreciate them for who they are. Thanks, Robert. All right, here we go. Kevin Danishevsky. Hey, maybe Immanuel Quickley is important. I know, analytics stupid, upside down happy face. I never really knew exactly what the upside down happy face is supposed to convey. I get the gist of it, but like if you ask me to define it, I don't know that I'd be able to give a good definition. Anyway. Yeah, Immanuel Quickley is important. Another one from Kevin Danishevsky. Maybe RJ and Randall together is a problem. Who could have thunk? Well, listen. We know those two have their limits. They are not a match made in heaven. They do not amplify each other's games. We know this. This is not news. That said, they were both part of a starting lineup that outscored teams by a healthy margin last season. So we could sit here and we can have all the conversations we want about, is it the best, combination or this or that, the other thing. It works well enough. Also, Kevin, it's a preseason game. Come on. It's a preseason game. We're talking about Randall and RJ.
Talk your shit, Kevin. That's right. Let's just go right to the computer. Analytics, not stupid. There, I stand in solidarity with my friend Kevin. I know you enjoyed that Max Scherzer start, by the way, Kevin. I know I did.
You want me to try to guess who are the teams, or how many teams are remaining in base? Are we to the league championship series?
We are. There's 4 teams left.
Okay, here we go. The Phillies.
Yes.
Who employed Bryce Harper?
Yes, they employed Bryce Harper. Look at you.
There we go. That was the easy one. I think I saw something about the Diamondbacks.
Yes, they beat the Dodgers.
Okay.
And they look very overmatched against the Phillies.
Okay. And that leaves 2 American League teams?
Yes. You're doing so well.
I'm going to look really stupid in a second.
Want me to give you a hint?
No, I don't want any hints.
Okay.
The Rays.
No, they did lose to one of the teams that's still in it.
The is it a Central team?
No.
Okay. The Blue Jays.
No, they lost in the wild card round.
Oh, so I named two teams that at least advanced to something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna get. We'll get this. The Mariners.
No, they didn't make the playoffs.
Okay.
So your first hint is both teams employ pitchers that the Mets had earlier this year.
Not helping. Astros?
Astros are one. They have Justin Verlander.
Okay. I was going to get the Astros were my first guess, and I'm like, no, I think they started doing badly. I have no idea who the other team is.
The Texas Rangers, the team that traded for Max Scherzer. So it's Scherzer against Verlander. The other hint was going to be Texas. That's the 2 Texas teams playing against each other. I could feel people leaving the broadcast because we just spent 5 minutes on baseball. This is how seriously you should take preseason, by the way. If we could drop the bit that you can break out into baseball and have a half serious conversation, and you can there are things to be concerned about, but like Jalen Brunson, I will quote his post game reaction to how do you feel? How would you sum up the preseason? Over.
Who said that?
Jalen Brunson
tonight.
Yes,
that's great. That's good. That's probably the best. That is the best reaction.
Exactly. A couple more.
Okay. Russ Guberman. What's going on, Russ? Hey, John. Concerned about DiVincenzo? He hasn't played a real game yet, and we're concerned about him. Okay, let's talk about why we're concerned. He makes a lot of bad decisions with the ball in his hands. He does. Sign me up for 30 minutes of Quickley a night. So, yeah, XJ's been on this point that, like, the notion that DiVincenzo was a Quickley replacement is not. I never saw him as that. I don't think the Knicks see him as that. He is a guy that can run a pick and roll. Obviously, we've seen him run pick and rolls, and like he has spent time in his pro career being the de facto nominal, whatever you want to call it, point guard. But he takes risky passes. He makes risky passes. They don't always land. It's been something that has kind of plagued him throughout his career. It certainly plagued him last year in Golden State. I think Benji had a really good tweet about this earlier today, cited his turnover percentage last year, which was damn near at the bottom of the league. My gut feeling is that he will not be making or attempting some of the passes that he may be attempted in the preseason once the real games begin, in large part because, again, I don't think that this team, barring injury, and if there are injuries, then we can have maybe a different conversation. Barring injury, I do not think this team is going to play a relevant minute without either Jalen Brunson or Immanuel Quickley running the show. So I think for as nice as it is what DiVincenzo does, I don't think you're going to see many possessions, if any, initiated early in the clock by DiVincenzo. And it's going to be more, if anything, of like late clock situation. Maybe DiVincenzo has a matchup that he likes. He pulls the center in for a high pick and roll, and you might see the occasional turnover. It's a concern, but he's a $12 million a year mid-level role player. And those sorts of role players are generally going to come with some sort of warts. It's up to the teams that employ those role players to minimize those warts and amplify their strengths. And the reason why DiVincenzo was such a nice get is because of the things that he does well, which are shoot, and he could defend pretty well. So you do take the bad with the good when the bad or when the good is kind of as translatable and as valuable, I mean, to put a finer point on it, skill as what DiVincenzo brings. DiVincenzo's gonna be fine. He's gonna be good. He's gonna help this team. He's a good player. I know it was a frustrating night, but whatever. Dom Cappuccini, not gonna lie, it puts a little damper on all 50 win predictions minus Robert. I feel pretty good about 45. I'm sure a week of practice will do the team good. Yeah, again, all of us could look very silly for being concerned in the slightest if they come out and they play as they are capable of playing against Boston. That's the thing, right? For as much as we will all not be thrilled about this and be worried about this and so on and so forth, I think the thing that I just said is ultimately the most important, which is if they come out and play as they are capable of playing. It is better to be in a situation like this, where we have a team that we know is capable of playing far better than they did tonight in a game that, again, I will remind everybody, did not count, than a team in which you have significant questions about whether they are capable of being a decent team. And God knows we've seen many of those. We don't have to ask those questions about this team because we know this team is capable of being very good. They just need to do it. So my fears are more, again, that they're just not going to be able to pull it together on defense, and like worst case scenario, they drop into play-in territory. That would be incredibly disappointing. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to be better than that, and I think they're going to figure out a way, because that's what they seem to do under this coach. They seem to scrap and claw and find a way. Thanks, Tom. Dan Hidalgo, what's going on, Dan? With Thibs' read and react offense, is shot distribution up to the discretion of the players? What percentage of usage is determined by coaches versus players? Yeah, I mean, they run sets. And then from there, it's on the players, which is why Thibs, I mean, you said it. It's not what you said. It's read and react. So it's up to the players to make the right decision. It's up to the players to react to whatever the defense is doing. We always hear Thibs talk about rim reads. It's frighteningly simple. If you're coached by Tom Thibodeau, unless you're, Mitchell Robinson or maybe Isaiah Hartenstein, although now it seems like Hartenstein has more of a green light. So unless you're Mitchell Robinson, if you are open behind the 3-point line, you shoot the ball. If you are not open behind the 3-point line, you either penetrate if there is penetration to be had, or you swing the ball around, or you do whatever you need to do to get at someone who can penetrate. And then that person, when they get into the teeth of the defense, reads the game at the rim and then either makes the next kick out or takes a shot. That's it. I mean, it's again, frighteningly simple, and it was good enough to produce the third best offense in the league last year. That's how I see it, at least. Benji would be a better person to answer that question, but I think that's basically what it comes down to. But they do run sets. But again, the set is just the setup. And it's up to the players to execute the set and then see where the set goes, because you could run whatever you want. You don't know how the defense is going to react. So that's why you react to how the defense reacts. Anthony Sixto, what's going on, Anthony? I think it's the first time we've heard from you this preseason. How are you? KFS, excited for the year. Preseason means very little. I agree. Knicks have been a top 5 team 2 of the last 3 years. Coming off a second-round appearance. Now's the time to embrace optimism and excitement. I like this. I needed this. I think everybody needed a little bit of this. I'm going to be... let me put it this way. I have a slew of preseason newsletter stuff that I've already written that I'll run on Friday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. It's going to be mostly positive, but also pretty realistic. I'm not going to change a word of any of that based on tonight. That's me. So maybe he was kicking the ass they needed. Who knows? Thanks, Anthony. Don with another one. Shout out to GMAC on his commercial debut with DoorDash. Nice tattoo sleeves, LOL. Check out my gravel pit. Hashtag we back. Hashtag 46 wins. I don't know what this is about.
So I'm assuming
there's someone that looks like you.
There's someone that looks like me. And just from Googling someone with arm sleeves or looking up on YouTube DoorDash commercials, the guy that plays, I believe his name is Fack on The Bear. I don't know if you watch that show, The Bear on FX.
Familiar with it, yeah.
Okay, so
I've watched a few episodes.
It's Matty Matheson is his name, and this is him. I really hope I don't look like him. He's got a DoorDash commercials. He's got arm sleeves. Like, I really hope I don't.
I love how you got this picture right up there. That's really exceptional producing by you.
So
you don't look like that guy.
Okay, good. I'm hoping not. I really hope I don't.
What's the most insulted you've ever been in terms of someone saying, "Hey, you remind me of this person"?
No one really.
Oh, really?
I gotta be honest. There's never really been like a doppelganger people have pointed out that I look like. You know,
okay.
I'm one of a kind, Jonathan.
I mean, you certainly are.
Yes. There's also very direct things. Like I get SpongeBob all the time because of the gap in my teeth.
Oh, I never watched SpongeBob.
I used to get Michael Strahan. I've gotten before.
I know. Okay.
Yes.
I never noticed you had a gap between your teeth.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is fun.
One more just came in.
Okay. Here we go. Let's do it.
Hold on. And I wonder if this is the actual Shams.
Spicy Sham. It's a spicier version of Sham. Not impressed by Dante so far. Maybe he's going to be this year's Elfrid Payton.
There you go. We were wondering who's going to be the target.
Someone every year, you know, inevitably. Not giving up on him yet. Well, that's good because he hasn't played the game yet.
That hasn't mattered. I'm glad you haven't given up on him, Spicy Sham. I love this comment. This is how you wrap up the preseason.
Wait till game 3. Or halftime of game 2. How about that? But Grimes is looking like the guy. I'm impressed with KFS, though. Thanks.
Oh.
Thanks for the summer content. Yeah, we try. We have fun during the summer. I think our goal during the summer is give people stuff that we would want to that we would listen to.
I will say a pivot next year, potentially, and this is how we can actually wrap up the preseason. We are most likely going to include some Liberty content next year. Shout out to the New York Liberty, who unfortunately went down in defeat to the Las Vegas Aces in Game 4 of the WNBA Finals. So the Vegas Aces are back-to-back champs. Breanna Stewart, league MVP, 3 of 17 in Game 4. So
that's imagine if we were doing Liberty post game right now.
Man, you think Julius Randle has some questions to answer?
Yeah.
Do you think there would be that kind of venom? Someone would come out here, hashtag trade Stewie?
I hope I mean, I have no idea. I went to, funny enough, I went to the Liberty Aces game. That was one of the final games of the regular season at the Barclays Center. Fantastic crowd. Amazing support for the team. Really, truly incredible. So my guess is that no, there's not a lot of vitriol tonight for Breanna Stewart.
More heartbreak than vitriol?
Yeah, I'm sure she's, I'm sure she's heartbroken.
No. I meant like from the fan base.
From the fan base. Yeah, of course. I mean, tough ask to go into Vegas for Game 5 and win that game anyway, but I'm sure they would have liked the chance.
Went down like it was a 1-point loss where it went down to the wire. So I was watching it on my phone while we were getting started, and yeah, hard fought battle. 2 best teams in the league, clearly.
I would like that if we did some of that kind of content.
Well, and so this way I'm not just throwing it out to the group chat. Hey, what do you want to draft today or this week? We may include some Liberty coverage next summer. So
I think that'd be good.
But in the meantime, we have an 82-game schedule to look forward to with the Knicks.
Yes, which hasn't started yet. That's a reminder.
Which is why I'm glad, Spicy Sham, that you have not given up on Dante DiVincenzo.
Please, let's wait until the season starts, folks. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. don't forget, if you dig anything that we do, help us out. Either subscribe to the YouTube channel, give the pod a 5-star rating, write a review, whatever you could do. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mailman, and we will be back. What do we got coming up?
So Casual Friday will drop on Friday morning. I'm joining the Casuals. We're going to be, speaking of drafts, we're going to be doing a points, rebounds, assists draft for the entire season. There you go. So we'll each be drafting some teams that'll, we'll try to keep you updated on those stats throughout the season. An episode of KFS Study Hall with, I believe it's going to be Chris and Sean on Saturday. And then a Locked On Knicks Film School crossover. 3 bold predictions for the upcoming season. Part 1 and 2 on our feed. Part 3 and 4 on their feed will come on Monday. And then the return of the KFS pregame show, which will drop on your feeds on Tuesday. And I'm going to speak it into existence. Somewhere in there, an emergency live stream for an Immanuel Quickley extension.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I have the artwork ready. I have the artwork ready, John.
When's the deadline's 5 p.m. on Monday, right?
Monday, yeah.
Okay, I gotta be ready for that one.
It's gonna be the most inconvenient time for all of us.
I have no doubt that it's gonna be an inconvenient time.
Well, so just we're wrapping up so I can add a little bit, but we're celebrating Pastor Claudio's birthday this weekend. My dad's birthday is Wednesday, the home opener. So
happy birthday, Pastor Claudio.
Obviously, I won't be going to it. The plan was to celebrate it Saturday. We're going to take him out to a steakhouse on Long Island. But if I could take people even more behind the scenes, Mrs. Claudio, my wife, has COVID. So we are currently not going anywhere. And as someone who just recovered, I'm kind of cool, but we don't know what Saturday will hold. So it may actually work out that we're here right now and able to jump on real quick for a live stream. But I'm sure the complications of 2 kids and the plans you got might.
No. Immanuel Quickley takes.
Immanuel Quickley. Okay. Sorry, Scarlett Ray. Anything you wanted to do?
She did ask me to do something fun on Sunday, so we'll have to.
I was speaking into existence. The Jets are on a bye. I have nothing to do Sunday. That in the most appropriate time for you and Jeremy to jump on, the Knicks will extend Immanuel Quickley on Sunday.
Let me tell you, they better because they need him. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you with some more fun stuff very soon. Peace out.